See how close that dog got? Fuck. What's up, guys? Paramoto here. How are you guys doing today? Today I'm absolutely fantastic. I get to ride in almost 60-degree weather in the middle of January, dude. Life is good. Life is good. A little country route today, my old country route Lake Loop. And then I gotta stop at a grocery store and get some coffee. Welcome to Topic Tuesday, the second episode of Topic Tuesday. I want to talk about something a little bit heavy. Since I've been a rider, I think the biggest compliment or the biggest judging factor on how good of a bike you have is if you would buy that bike again if anything happened to the bike that you currently have. So, if anything happened to this Panigale, would I buy it again? And that's what I want to talk about today. You know, I've done reviews on how pricey this bike is. I've done reviews on, you know, how awesome it is. I mean, there's the sound, the look, the feel, everything is very awesome with this bike. But with the price of this bike, you can buy at least two other bikes. And that's the one thing that's kind of like a almost determining factor for me in making that decision, would you buy this bike again, is that you could literally buy a brand new 600 and then buy a dual sport brand new for the price of this one motorcycle. Now that's stretching things just a little bit, and that's not taking into account all the tax title bullshit transfer fees that you have to pay when you get a bike. Personally, I don't pay them. I go, Mr. Dealership Guy, your delivery fee, that's you. That's to get your product here. So go fuck yourself. I'm not paying your price. I'm not paying your bill for you. But that's for another video. If I wanted to, I could probably go and get a brand new R6 for about, you know, $10,000, $11,000. You know, maybe that's pushing it now, but you know, like CBR 600, you could get comfortably for $10,000, $11,000. You know, my last CBR that I bought was just about $10,000, and I've seen people get leftover stock CBR 1000s, insert Psycho Cruiser. I've seen him get a CBR 1000 for like $9,000 just because it was leftover stock, right? So you can get really nice bikes for $10,000 or under. They're not Panigale nice, but they are very nice bikes. And then you can turn around, a brand new DRZ 400 is about $6,600. So this bike cost me $16,000. So roughly, for the price of this one bike, I could have went out and bought a brand new 600cc bike and a brand new DRZ 400. Now, is it worth it? I don't know. I don't know. So honestly, if I could only have one motorcycle on the face of the planet and it was gonna have to be my one end-all be-all do-all motorcycle, I would probably get a dual sport, just because I want to go off-road, but I also want to do street. You can always turn your dual sport into a supermoto. They're just very utilitarian. They're like a Swiss Army bike, you know, just like how they call the KLR 650. They call it a Swiss Army bike for a reason, you know. So if you only had to have one bike forever, I don't think a sport bike would be a great choice. Now, sport bikes are fun as fuck. You're gonna have so much fun on a Panigale and everything. And that's not what this video is about. This video is not about buyer's remorse. It's not about, you know, oh, I should have done something different. That's not what this is about. I love this Panigale, and I'm not getting rid of it anytime soon. But I'm just saying, if I could only have one bike, or if I could have two bikes for the price of this one, would I buy this bike again is the question. Now, I guess there's actually more to think about than that. I mean, most of the decision making that I'm thinking about is sound financial sense kind of decisions, not like decisions you make out of passion or anything like that. You know, like, so if financially you only had to make one choice and it's gonna be a food or motorcycle, what decision would you make? It's kind of how I'm going with it. To be totally honest with you, given my current life situation and my current finances and where I am in life, I think I would make the decision again. I would make the decision to buy a brand new Ducati Panigale 959 again. I think I would make that decision. Now, again, it wouldn't be the smartest decision, and I might have gone about it a different way. Like, I might have sold my CBR myself, and I might have, you know, done things just slightly differently. just to make the decision a little bit easier on my bank account. You know, so I mean, like, I would have made things a little bit different, but at the same point, not drastically different. You know, I think I still would have got the bike. I still would have done everything that I did, but I just would have, you know, maybe hawked my CBR myself and got a couple grand more, saved up a little bit of money. So instead of financing as much as I did, I probably would have financed about half. You know, I probably could have made that happen. Like, I probably could have sold my CBR for more, but it was just, dealerships make it so easy. Like, I give you this bike, and you give me credit towards this bike, you know? And that's how they get you. You know, it's always about the rush. Like, if you can wait to have something, you can typically have a better deal. So speaking of this topic, buying another bike again, buying the same bike twice, you know, just as a compliment to the first bike. I'll be honest with you, when I first got my CBR 600 RR, and it got wrecked after owning it for 6 days, not by my fault at all. Fucking 9-year-old kid turned directly out of front of me and made me hit his fucking front fender, and then lied to the cop about it and everything. I think his license ended up getting suspended because he had a bunch of careless and reckless on his history and stuff. Like, there was a lot of red flags on his driving history that said that he probably shouldn't have been fucking driving. But that's neither here nor there. When he fucking totaled my bike, his license got suspended and everything, and the insurance company had to pay out quite a bit. When I wrecked that bike, I turned around and I bought another CBR 600 RR. And the reason why I did that was because I really didn't get to experience the CBR 600 RR. Like, I'll be honest with you, when I was in limbo between bikes for a month, and I knew I was going to have a check coming eventually, I was looking around for other bikes. I was like, I could buy this R6, or I could do this over here, but I ended up not. I ended up going right back to the CBR, just mainly because I really didn't get to experience it. I didn't get to really ride it. I really didn't get to enjoy it that much or anything. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go back to the CBR because I haven't even given that bike a chance yet, you know, and we're gonna give that bike a good solid chance, you know. So I turned around and bought that bike again, and that says a lot about the quality of the product that these people put out. That says a lot about the quality of the product that Honda puts out, because Honda makes a very solid bike. So I went and I turned around and I bought it again. This Panigale, yeah, you know what? It's got absolutely fantastic features. It's got more electronics than any bike I've ever owned. It's stunningly beautiful. It is brutally powerful, and it's got modes so you can turn it down. It's utilitarian. You can make it a daily rider if you wanted to, but you can also just kind of, you know, pleasure ride it and stuff. It's just a great all-around sport bike. I would buy this bike again. I really would. Thinking about it, it's like the sound financial decision would have been to not buy this bike when I did. Instead of having like $10,000 worth of debt right now, I could have had zero in the summertime, because my CBR was like this close to being paid off. It only had $1,000 left, and I just paid off my car last month. So I would have no debt right now instead of $10,000 worth of debt. But at the same point, I love this bike, and I really wanted to experience a 1000cc sport bike at least once in my life, even if that was a shitty financial decision, you know. And when this bike is paid off, I'm gonna keep it. I'm gonna keep this bike, and the reason why I'm gonna keep this bike is I have this sneaking suspicion that V2 Panigales are gonna be worth money eventually. This really sneaking suspicion. I kind of feel like these bikes are gonna depreciate to a point, and I think they're gonna start appreciating like a lot of exotic bikes and cars do. Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna put down any other bike out here because it's not my place to judge anybody for anything, and I really try to be positive on this channel. But at the same point, I have to say that I think that the 959 is magnitudes greater of a motorcycle than the 899, because the 899, there was a model that didn't even have clear coat. I rode one and the whole thing felt like it was already falling apart, and it only had a couple thousand miles on it. This bike has 5,000 miles on it, and it still looks new, and it still feels new, and there's still crisp action on everything. And although, you know, I don't want to put down anything, if you gave me the choice, if anybody gave you the choice, do you want this 899 or this 959, go with the 959. It's not that much different of a motorcycle, but it really is, man, it is so nice out here. So if you guys remember, this is like my summertime lake route. It goes over to this really beautiful lake. Things are a little dead right now, but that's gonna change. That's gonna change about a month and a half. You know, next month's typically our cold month. and then it ices over a couple of times maybe. You know, usually once, sometimes twice. Next month is our cold month, and I'm really going to try to get a DRZ sometime within the next month and a half. I've been in talks with people here and there. It seems like a lot of people want a lot of money for their DRZs that are pretty used. This one guy had a DRZ with like, it's got 12,000 miles on it, needs a fucking top-end rebuild, and he still wants $3,000 for it. Yeah, go fuck yourself. That's not happening. I'm still hoping to add our DRZ to the channel. I think the DRZ is taking precedence over the mod series, and the reason why is I think the channel's growth is going to be greater with a second bike rather than one bike getting modded slowly. And that means that the mod series is going to happen. It's still going to happen, dude. I'm not lying about that. The summertime thing, I might just collect a bunch of stuff and then do it all at once. I'm not really quite sure yet. This is a place that I want to go on a DRZ so bad, dude. Just jump off on one of these little trails or start going through the woods. Because like there's little spots where you can go down to the shoreline. And it almost reminds me of when Jake the Guard Snake would go down to the shorelines of the lake that he goes to in Texas. Yeah, this thing is fucking beautiful, guys. You know? And this is another reason why I want a DRZ, because there's little offshoots everywhere that you really can't take a street bike, but you could take a DRZ. Nobody behind us, so we're just gonna slow it on down. I don't care that we're going 20 into the speed limit right now, dude. It's beautiful. I want to go to the end of that pier. That's gonna be one of our first destinations, to the end of that pier when I get my DRZ. So I haven't seen that much depreciation on this bike yet. I've been watching out for blue book values of it because I'm, you know, trying to pay it off as fast as possible right now. And I've been watching out for the blue book values of this bike just to see, you know, investment quality wise, how I've done. And I've only lost like $3,000 in depreciation. And you know, when you actually consider that with every vehicle that you buy, you're gonna have significant depreciation off the lot. $3,000 is not that bad. When I actually was in talks with my CBR 600 that was 6 days old before I got totaled by that dick face, the insurance company wanted me to eat $2,000 worth of depreciation in the first 6 days. So, you know, I don't think we've done that bad, to be honest with you. Alright guys, that's it for today's video. Thank you for watching. Please make sure to like the video and make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. I appreciate you guys watching so much. Deuces till the next time.